Hello and welcome to my presentation. My name is Bradley Golden and I'm going to be taking you on a stroll with Bash. So let's go ahead and get started. So what is Bash? Bash is a command language, and essentially what a command language is a language that allows you to access the operating system. You can think of it this way. Have you heard the term shell? I'm sure you have. If not, think of it this way, right? So a shell is something that my Slack is going crazy. All right, so shell is something that is hard. It surrounds something, and or for the most part, it's hard, but it surrounds something, right? So the Bash command language is essentially the language that surrounds your shell or surrounds your operating system and allows you to access the operating system in various ways. So I encourage you to launch your terminal, your shell, if you're a Mac or Linux user, or use PuTTY if you're a Windows user, and join along. So let's stop and play with kiddies. Huh? So Bash is more than just CDLS and SSH. It's more than just navigating around the terminal. And I'm going to go ahead and give you a brief introduction as to the beginning of that. So let's go ahead and type, make sure I'm in my home directory. Let's create a script called hello.sh. In a command language, they're called scripts, and the .sh indicates a script. And you can see I already have a command here, or a file here. I must have been playing around with it. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new one. I'm going to use the shebang, this shebang, which essentially tells the interpreter which command language to use. In this case, we want to use Bash. Then I'm going to type echo, hello world. I'm going to exit. I'm going to type Bash, which executes a script. And I'm going to type the script name. Bam, there we go. Hello world executes. So that was a simple example of a basic script. Not much use, but it's a good introduction. The cool thing about Bash, what's really useful, it's all about automation, right? So something that we commonly all do is we all log into BERT VM, or any, right? So let's go ahead and take that to the next level. Go back to your terminal and fire up Vim. And let's create a script called bert.sh. Right? Oh, again, we can see there's already one there. So I'm going to leave the shebang there. So I'm going to, again, type the shebang in. I'm going to put a nice little prompt in there that tells me that I'm connecting to BERT VM. And then I'm going to type that command that I use to connect, just as if I was typing it in the command line. Right? Check it, it's all good to go. Okay, so now I'm going to execute that command with the bash command. Or I'm going to execute that script with the bash command, and there we go, I can connect. However, this is not going to work if I'm in another folder. Well, let's see, so let's go to the desktop. If I type bash bert.sh, it doesn't work. So how is this useful? I want to be able to connect to BERT from anywhere easily without having to type the entire SSH command out. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll show you how. So if we go to our bash RC, I'm not going to tell you what a bash RC is right now. I'm going to leave that up to you to do some research. And what I've done is I've created an alias, right? And so the alias says, hey, if you type BERT into the shell, do this command. In this case, I want to execute in my home directory this script called bert.sh, right? And then I'm going to go ahead and execute my bash profile so that it reads that alias. Again, I'm going to leave that up to you to research what a bash profile is. Then I'm going to go ahead and type in BERT. Look at that, it connects. I'm going to go into another directory. I'm going to go to the desktop where there is no script currently. I have some saved emails, this presentation, but I don't have that script. Well, if I type BERT, it still connects. It's magic. It knows exactly where that script is located. Now, let's go ahead and try this in a new window. If I open up another shell, I type in BERT, see, whoops, you could still see that. Well, I lost that window, but there we go. If you could still see this, it prompted me to put in my password. So great, this alias now works anywhere in my shell. Fantastic. All right, so that is one step for automation, and you can do that with many different things. If you have a favorite directory that you're always going to, you can just type in a quick command to quickly go to that directory without having to think about where to go. That process can be automated. There are many other ideas and things that you can do with Bash. It's very useful for programmers to know. All right, so the next thing is we had automation. Now we have cron. Cron is the after party of automation. So essentially, what it is it's a scheduler, or it's a daemon, which is a technical term. But what it does is it allows you to run your scripts once every second, once every week, once a day at a certain time. So you can run the scripts over and over again. And Launch HD does the same thing. The Launch D does the same thing. It's a little more cumbersome, and it's Launch D is for Mac, by the way. And for some reason, Mac took away cron, those jerks. So we're left with using their tools. So here I have an example of a simple script that I've made, essentially, or I've semi-made, semi-copied from the internet, that allows you to SSH into BERT and check if it's running or not. So essentially, if you want to get notified if BERT VM is down, you can go ahead and execute this script every so often, and it will notify you whether BERT VM is down or not in the terminal, or you can change the echo lines to something else to email you. There are many options that you can take to be notified when BERT VM is down or up. So that's a useful script to use. Oh, and also for Mac users, if you want, I already have it open here, there's a program called Launch Control. So if you want to essentially create your own scripts and run, or create a script and then run it, you can run it every 300 seconds, or I can do it at a certain time in the calendar. There's many options, but essentially I can choose a command to run, and I can run it every so often. So that's a useful program that works well, that I enjoy to use. All right, so to wrap this up, I've got a super sweet project for Mac users. Sorry, Linux and Windows users, you're SOL for this one. But you could take this concept and use it for Linux and Windows as well. So for Mac users, I've created a script essentially that I can't talk and do two things at once. That essentially it installs everything you need automatically as a Mac user. So let's say that you reboot your operating system and you have to reinstall all the software. Well, this does that for you automatically. It updates Python, it installs Node.js, it updates Git, it does all kinds of things, as well as installs Google Chrome, installs the pesky Silverlight, Microsoft Silverlight application, Spotify, Microsoft Office, Amazon Music. It does all this for you automatically. And that's a Bash script that uses some other third-party tools, and it uses Ruby as well. But that's for another topic, another day. I highly recommend you take a look at this script if you're a Mac user and you want to reinstall Mac. Do a fresh install. Take a look at the script, modify it, play with it, and give it a go. All right, so thank you for your time today. I hope you enjoyed my presentation on Bash. This is very basic, and I hope it was a good introduction for you. If you want to get more information about the scripts I created, you can go ahead and visit this link. I created a GitHub repo for you as a resource. So thank you very much.